You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got a real jam going down. Welcome to Nerd Overload. Here's your chance, do your dance at Nerd Overload. I'm Cody. This is Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that's ready to slam. Take it to the jam.
I'm Sam, and I'm also ready to slam and or jam.
I'm Josh. I'm just here for retired basketball stars.
So you don't get taken to Moron Mountain.
Yeah. Space Jam! Hey, thank you all for tuning in this week. We have a great show for you, a bunch of news to go over. But first, let's talk about some things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
It stinks.
I'm glad that I got that in one because I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's talk about some things we've been doing this week. Let's not bury the lead. Cody, you watched the new Space Jam?
I experienced the new Space Jam, yes. It's very, very incredibly terrible.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I have yet to commit to it, but I need to.
I mean, you should. You should watch it, but just be ready.
Okay. I've heard some things. I've heard some things about it that make it very bad.
It's wild.
I heard there's an extended sequence that takes place in Matrix Land.
Yeah, and Speedy Gonzalez is there, and also Granny dressed like Trinity. Also,
why?
Also, every joke involving Granny is just awful.
Really?
Just stinks on ice. Like, think of any tired old person joke you can think of, and they apply it to Granny.
Oh, is it? Does she drink martinis and also is a secret, kung fu master?
Yeah.
Okay, well
also,
there it is.
Why does she drink martinis? That's not part of her.
No,
character.
It's not. I mean, I guess if they were doing a thing where like the Looney Tunes characters were actors on a series, and and Granny's actual personality is more like martini grandma, but like
you mean like old Hollywood starlet,
maybe
washed up actress kind of thing.
But they probably didn't put that much thought into it, did they?
No, absolutely, they didn't put any thought into anything in this movie.
Yeah,
the whole conceit of the movie is that LeBron James is sucked into the server at Warner Brothers, and so is his son. And in order to get his son out of the virtual world, he has to kick his butt at basketball.
Really?
He has to beat his own son and Don Cheadle at basketball.
Huh. Well, that's an interesting...
And a good portion of this movie is Don Cheadle grooming LeBron James' son, which is creepy as it sounds.
Yeah, no, that sounds...
He spends
creepy.
A long time convincing LeBron James' son, Dom, that, LeBron sucks and he doesn't understand you, but I understand you. And we're going to beat your dad at basketball.
You're saying this, and all I'm picturing in my head is when Captain Hook is trying to convince Jack, Peter Pan's son in Hook, that Hook is his real dad.
It's very much that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've also heard that there's a lot that has to do with, like, the cartoon, like, the Looney Tunes. Like, they do all their cartoon stuff, but it's fundamentals and actually playing basketball that wins the day.
No,
because
that's bad.
Oh, really?
Being yourself and being a Looney Tune is good.
Oh,
basketball
okay.
fundamentals are why they are losing at the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, LeBron.
So they try to legitimately play basketball, and they get in their butts kicked.
Yeah, but only when they are true to themselves as the Looney Tunes is when they start to succeed.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the second half of the game in the first Space Jam,
so the same
where they start doing like goofy antics.
Yeah.
So tell me, were the Warner Brothers character cameos, like greater Warner Brothers cameos, as cringeworthy as I am led to believe they are?
Yes,
okay.
They're very bad.
All right, yeah.
The beginning of the movie involves them going to make the team,
Yeah.
And they apparently all the Looney Tunes have been moved into different franchises that Warner Brothers owns.
Okay.
So they go to Casablanca to get Yosemite Sam, who is there for some reason. Granny and Speedy Gonzales are in The Matrix. Elmer Fudd is in Austin Powers in an extended Austin Powers sequence.
Yeah, baby, yeah. Is he dressed up like Dr. Evil?
Yes, he is.
Of course.
He replaces Mini-Me. It's basically that scene where they introduce Mini-Me, but then Elmer Fudd
It's
comes
Elmer
out.
Fudd.
It's Elmer Fudd.
That's the whole joke.
That's the entire
And the whole joke is because Elmer Fudd is bald.
Yes.
That's... Oh, God. That is embarrassing. Hey, is Pepe Le Pew anywhere?
Oh, no, he's not in this movie at all, thank God.
Okay. It's weird, but like also the Droogs from A Clockwork Orange are like very visible in a lot of crowd scenes, right?
Oh, yeah, and the Night King
Yeah.
and some White Walkers and all your Hanna-Barbera friends and Frankenstein Jr. and
Iron
Space
Giant.
Ghosts. Yeah.
Iron Giant's there, right?
Yeah. But they don't do anything.
They're just there.
back there. It adds nothing to the plot. They're just basically animated GIF billboards, and it kind of sucks.
So, like, okay, so
Look at all these things we own.
Yeah, basically, it's
Yeah.
Warner Brothers reminding you of all the things they own for an hour and a half.
Okay, so like the first Space Jam, it was a children's movie, but it was also a giant advertisement for Nike and McDonald's and like other franchises.
I mean, that's kind of how 90s basketball was.
right. But I mean, the
No,
movie,
I'm dead
that's
serious.
It's true. But that's a big part of the movie is like he has to get his lucky Nikes and he has to all this stuff. So does that mean that this movie it's a big advertisement for Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
For
That's all it
HBO
is?
Max.
Yeah, because it's not. There's no like lucky Nikes or anything. Like it's just all just Warner Brothers
Properties.
Yeah, the closest thing they do is when LeBron falls into Toon World and smashes into the ground. Instead of an outline of a person, it's a Nike swoosh. That's a joke.
All right, I guess I
guess
joke is stretching it a little far there.
I mean, they can't use the same joke in the sequel of the movie.
I will give them credit. The animation, the 2D animation is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's worth seeing, like, just some of that stuff. They do a really nice job with the 2D.
But then they have to put them onto 3D.
Yeah, and then the last quarter of the movie, they're 3D and they look like hot garbage.
Ah, that sucks.
Where they actually start looking like they have, like, computer fur and stuff.
Yeah, it's not...
Looney Tunes don't need fur.
It doesn't look like it's good 3D. Like it's obviously not cheap looking.
Yeah.
But when you put it against the 2D Looney Tunes that look so much better, it doesn't work. They should have just did all of one or all of the other.
I heard they made a Big Chungus joke.
Yes, but actually they don't like signpost it. They just use the same Big Chungus gag from that Looney Tune. So
yeah,
they at least handled Big Chungus better than they could have.
That's actually one of the written reviews I've seen online for Space Jam 2. It was this guy who said, I went to the theater to see this. There's a child who lost his mind when he saw Big Chungus to the point where his parents had to take him out of the theater. I don't remember the rest of this film.
That would have been worth the price of admission. I would like to see a kid just absolutely lose it to Big Chungus.
Yeah.
This meme, I know this meme.
We're saying Big Chungus a lot. It's a online meme picture of Bugs Bunny from an old cartoon where he would got like real fat or something,
he
right?
imitates Elmer Fudd by like malforming his body into this like bowling pin old Elmer Fudd shape.
Yeah. and someone has used it in a meme and has called it Big Chungus, and that is what
They even name
referencing.
drop it too, don't they?
No, they don't.
they don't. No. So you're saying everyone should go out and watch Space Jam 2?
Well,
Suffer. Everyone should suffer.
yeah. I mean, it's an experience. It's something.
Yeah.
You won't be entertained like legitimately by the film. And I don't want to say it was entertaining because it sucked.
Oh yeah.
But also, it's not made for us.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also like the spectacle of it. Like to see this huge multi-million-dollar thing fall on its face so badly is kind of entertaining on its own.
Oh, I'm all in for a bad movie as long as it's entertainingly bad. Would you say it's bad, but did you have fun at how bad it is? Or was it a slog to get through?
Oh, it's hard to say.
It's both. It's both.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Both of them. It's fun. It's bad, funny, and also bad, just sad. What a
Gotcha.
Like the thought I always have every time I think about it is like, back when the first Space Jam came out, Michael Jordan was still super relevant, and the Looney Tunes was still super relevant.
Now LeBron is relevant, but
relevant.
but the Looney Tunes are not.
And it's sad that the Looney Tunes are not relevant because I think a lot of their cartoons still hold up. There are some that maybe don't.
This made me actively like the Looney Tunes less.
Really? That's a bummer.
Immediately after watching it, and I don't know if I feel this way now, but in the afterglow of Space Jam, I went, maybe the Looney Tunes do need to stay in the past.
That is a shame.
Because nothing funny happens in the movie comes from the Looney Tunes. They don't do anything to bring it up, which is a shame because they're classic cartoon characters.
Yeah.
Like, not only that, but they are, a touchstone of American culture.
Yeah.
And it does sadden me to think about how you talk to most people younger than us, and 90% of them aren't going to know exactly what the Looney Tunes are outside of, oh yeah, they were in that Space Jam movie.
And they think Bugs Bunny is Big Chungus. They know more of what Big Chungus is than Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Even though there are touchstones in Looney Tunes that are like, they're culturally just so good. Like any one of the Bugs Bunny opera skits
are amazing.
Yeah.
Duck Amuck is directly related to my love of stories that break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It ties like there's a straight line.
Some of my favorite Looney Tunes ones are the Daffy centric ones.
Yeah. Daffy's the best.
Daffy's the best one of the bunch.
Yeah, hands down. I agree.
Absolutely.
Like the Robin Hood one, Duck Dodgers.
Duck Dodgers is great.
Those are great. Those are great ones. Those are great. Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote were some of my favorites growing up.
The Scarlet Daffy Duck as the Scarlet Pumpernickel.
Yeah. Or just Bugs Bunny and Martian
Manhunter.
I almost said Martian Manhunter.
He shows up, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, but
they don't talk, right?
No, they
Martian
do.
Manhunter or Marvin the Martian?
Oh wait, are you talking about Marvin or Martian?
I'm talking
Manhunter?
the Martian Manhunter.
I don't think he's in it, but there is a whole DC world section that's 2D animated in the Bruce Timm style. That's beautiful.
Oh,
but they don't say anything. I think Wonder Woman's the only one that actually has a dialogue.
There's a separate Wonder Woman part.
Oh, really?
That is also beautifully animated.
Huh.
Just like her hair's blowing triumphantly the whole time. It's gorgeous animation.
Is she drawn in the Bruce Timm style too?
Kind of. It's like a cross between like a Bruce Timm look and like a really pop art comic book look.
Interesting.
It's really well done to the service of nothing.
Just
more DC saying, "Hey, we own this too."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Looney Tunes' corpses being propped up in a corporate advertisement for Warner Brothers.
That makes me sad.
So it's Ready Player One. With other properties.
Except I liked Ready Player One better than.
Oof.
That's saying something.
And Ready Player One was pretty bad.
It stank on ice.
I mean, there are three things that I love in Ready Player One, and I haven't even watched the movie. I've just seen the scenes. Is Gundam, Iron Giant, Mechagodzilla. That's all I really cared about.
But the way they use them in that movie, it's not good.
Well, Gundam and Mechagodzilla makes sense. Iron Giant not so much.
Does not make sense.
It just takes the heart of that film and we just wanted a cool robot.
Well, the way they use their properties in Space Jam is worse than it is in Ready Player One.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because at least in Ready Player One, it was kind of saying something about how uncreative people are, I guess.
Yeah.
Because these are just regular people out there in the virtual world, and of course they're going to be like Iron Giant and not do it correctly, or I'm Tracer from Overwatch. But in this, they're like just there to be there.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially the basketball game crowd scenes. I was upset at how none of the cameo characters got to do anything or be a part of it. They're just wallpaper.
They're just there. They're just moving backgrounds, basically.
Like every Hanna-Barbera character you could ever want is back there, and they don't get a line. They don't affect the game at all. They are just there.
Oh, man. That sucks. That sucks. I may not see this movie.
It's just like...
It's just going to make me sad. Oh,
I'm LeBron James, and I am here to kick my son's butt at basketball in front of God, the Looney Tunes, and Frankenstein Jr.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You've been working on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I said that while we were watching it.
And Don Cheadle's just there collecting a paycheck.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Don Cheadle was good in it. Because he's Don Cheadle. He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
He was doing the best he could with this trash.
Yeah.
I mean...
Was he having fun with it at least?
I think he was.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all remember the Don Cheadle as Captain Planet skits, don't we?
Everybody's trees.
You about spit your
I did.
soda out.
Oh.
Sometimes I forget that's a trilogy.
Oh, there's... Oh, yeah. Everybody's trees.
Don Cheadle in that green silver makeup.
Yeah. All right. So let's bounce from one bad movie to another. I watched a
Bounce.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Bounce. Yeah. Give me a bounce pass.
Slam a jam to the next topic.
Slam a jam to the
Boom
next. Check them out.
shakalaka.
Yeah. So I also watched a very bad movie, but mine had a decidedly smaller budget. So I watched a very low budget, like early 2000s horror action thriller called Devon's Ghost: Legend of the Bloody Boy.
So
You know, that title makes it sound like the McElroys came up with it.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I went into this. I mean, when you're getting into a movie called Devon's Ghost: Legend of the Bloody Boy, you know you're going to expect bad filmmaking. So this film, and there's a good reason why I picked this one out, other than the title Devon's Ghost: Legend of the Bloody Boy.
the clown box from the My Brother and Me TV show should be in this movie.
He should, but he's not. But you know who is? Two Power Rangers.
Of course.
It is starring Johnny Young Bosch, who was Adam, the second Black Ranger.
Also, the voice of Zuko in
Zuko.
Avatar.
He also co-directed this movie with the action choreographer from Power Rangers, Koichi Sakamoto.
Oh, wow.
So,
Just renowned voice actor.
renowned voice actor, and also starred second Yellow Ranger and alleged con artist Karen Ashley. Alleged. No, so this movie's terrible. Don't watch it. The whole thing is about how when these kids were 10 years old, there was a kid who died, and his name's Devon.
And he got bloody.
He got bloody.
Boy.
He's a bloody ghost boy. And 10 years later, there are now like murders of like that may or may not be connected to the ghost, or possibly Devon didn't die. Maybe he's just a living bloody boy.
And
with a baseball bat.
Only teens with attitude can save the day.
Only 20-somethings with attitude can save the day with their crime-solving skills and kung fu. The choreography's bad. The acting is terrible. The plot is laughable. Don't search this one out. Listen, Power Rangers, with few exception, do not typically have great post-Power Rangers careers. There are a few that have made it,
with the exception of Rose McGowan.
Rose
McGowan, wrong one.
Rose McIver.
Rose McIver.
There have been a few others. Johnny Young Bosch has done some stuff.
How many Christmas Prince movies has she been in? At least three.
At least three. Plus, she cameoed in the Christmas Switch 2, the one where they have three switched again, switched also. She's done stuff. Erin Cahill, who was Jen from Time Force Pink, has done a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies. A lot of them end up in Hallmark Christmas movies, oddly enough.
I mean, it tracks.
Yeah.
There's a level of acting that you need for a Hallmark Christmas movie, and it's exactly the same level you need to be a Power Ranger.
It is. Also, a lot of times those Hallmark Christmas movies are not union, and neither is Power Rangers. So
That's it
that's
right
a
there.
that's a whole other thing. But yeah, with few exceptions, Power Rangers based movies post Power Rangers are not good. But it
Despite
compels
how
me.
much
They compel me.
Despite how much they try to claw to hold on to their stardom. Looking at you up there, Green Ranger.
Oh, you mean you're not excited for Legend of the White Dragon?
No.
His new movie,
No.
co-starring other former Rangers, Yoshi Sudarso, the blue, what is that? The blue Dino Charge Ranger, and the
Oh yeah, because he was
and Christy
wait,
Ane.
was it Dino Charge or the other dinosaur one?
There's so
She was in
many
the
ones.
dinosaur one. There's there's four dinosaur ones.
There's one where
That's too many.
Yeah.
well, there's one where Jason David Frank is the black.
It's
is
not
the Black
that one.
Ranger.
It's the one where there's 14 Rangers.
Oh, so the newest one.
No, there is a newer one.
Oh, there's a newer dinosaur
There is
one.
a season right now that is Dino Fury, where there are knights. They're dinosaur knights.
right.
The one before that, they're from they get their gems and they're from different points in time, and it freezes them in their age. And he played a caveman.
Hey, this is Power Rangers, guys.
Yeah, this is Power Rangers. No,
Now, did this movie have a scene where it was Mad Max, but Wile E. Coyote was there, and then he sprayed chrome all over his face and then held up a sign that said "Witness me"?
no, it did not. But
That sounds like a great joke. That
Yes,
sounds like
it
a great
did.
joke.
Okay, that actually one good joke.
No, there
it
was
is.
one good joke, and it's
Yeah.
so good I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, then don't spoil it. Yeah, that's fine. Save it. We'll
Like
save it.
I died. There is one good joke in Space Jam, and it is very good.
You know, it's pretty bad. You have to watch Fury Road before you can watch Space Jam 2.
All right, I'm about ready to bounce off of mine, but I just want to add, Karen Ashley, you got my $20 10 years ago. Where's the order? Where's my movie, Karen Ashley? Where's that movie you've been working on for the last 10 years?
You got Kickstartered.
No, I got Indiegogo'd because
Oh.
unlike Kickstarter, where if it fails, you don't have to pay anything, Indiegogo, once you put your money in, that sucker's gone. You are committed. Like, The Order is a movie that she was writing and directing that was going to be all starring
Former
Rangers, a lot of Mighty Morphin, a lot of I think Jason Faunt from Time Ranger or Time Force or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of Rangers were going to be in it. She took a whole bunch of money. Years went by, didn't do anything. Then made a comic book prequel to the movie, and then asked everybody who backed the film to pay an extra $40 for the comic book.
$40.
$40.
Was this thing 300 pages? Was it the size of Dune?
I mean, it was a graphic novel, but it was a thin graphic novel.
Okay, those are $20 max.
Yeah.
Well, no, she was trying to get more money to make
Well,
the film.
obviously,
And,
she squandered her Indiegogo money.
Yeah,
Squandered it.
And here it is, nearly 15 years later, and there's no Order movie. Where's my movie, Yellow Ranger? Where is it?
Sorry, I just keep hearing the Joker talking to Batman. Where's my electric car, Bruce?
Where's my electric car, Bruce?
Where's the next season of that show?
Oh, I know,
it
right?
should be
Harley
coming,
Quinn.
right?
I'm ready
Yeah.
for some more Harley Quinn.
Yeah, same here. I also watched the first episode of the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe because I want to
let's
get
get into
prepped.
this.
Because I want to get prepped for
Oh.
the new one.
And I've watched almost all of the new ones.
Okay.
So you do yours.
Okay, and then we'll roll into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first couple episodes of the original, and I mean, for a children's ad for toys, surprisingly good. It's actually not bad.
It has a weird little heart to it.
It does.
For a show to sell toys.
They take it just seriously enough that you don't see with some other toyetic shows from the 80s.
I mean, it has an iconic, catchphrase, which Transformers.
Yeah. Is that the
Hi,
one?
I'm He-Man.
I was gonna say, by the power of Grayskull, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows that one. Everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. But yeah. I mean, Skeletor's my favorite, from the
Yeah.
old He-Man. But and I had a lot of old He-Man toys. Also, some of their vehicles are stupid.
They'll have faces on them.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what? It's fine. again, it's very toyetic, like,
And also,
incredibly
it's
toyetic.
very 80s.
It's super silly, and it has a good heart.
It has a really good heart to it.
and
I could see why it was as big as it had gotten, and it had as many episodes, because there's like 130 episodes, 120, 130 episodes of the original series. Do you know anything about the sequel series that they tried to do, The New Adventures of He-Man?
vaguely.
Where he gets teleported to a future space planet, and he becomes a techno hero.
Techno Barbarian.
Which
Yeah.
is not that far off from.
It's not.
No, because I mean they got all kinds of weird science /
Yeah.
magic
Yeah.
in He-Man.
But he basically becomes Flash Gordon. Like, he no longer has the sword of Grayskull. He has like a lightsaber.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's
It
not great.
really is like a silly show for babies,
It is.
and I'm not. And that's not a slight against it. You know, we
It is
need
what
those.
it is. What it is.
Yeah.
It was good for when it is. It's not like oh, I am sitting down and going, oh my gosh, I love He-Man. So it's like, no, it's a show for children. All this, everything we talk about is stuff for
Yeah.
children. This is a children's show.
I think a lot of people have an idea in their head of He-Man being something it is absolutely not.
It's years and years of rose-colored glasses and people doing their own gritty takes on.
You mean like the 2000 He-Man?
The 2000 He-Man was okay.
Oh no, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, like, a lot of people having, a lot of rose-colored glasses, and a lot of people remembering that there was more to it than there actually was.
Like it's some kind of like tough, manly, like, oh, it's so awesome. It's like, no, it's a goofy baby show.
Yeah. So let's roll that into yours. You watched the new one, the
there's
Revelations.
There's a new one on Netflix, Masters of the Universe Revelations. Kevin Smith did it, which initially made me think,
oh no.
yeah, this might not be good. He hasn't done anything good since the 90s.
Yeah.
But it's very good. He went in there and like found a story to tell out of these like baby show cartoon characters.
Now, are you sure you want to put out these controversial opinions about? Yeah,
This is apparently a wild opinion to have. A lot of people are mad because there is not a lot of He-Man in this Masters of the Universe show, and there isn't really, because him and something happens between him and Skeletor that makes them gone for a while.
Yeah.
And that's as unspoilery as I can make it. So the show focuses a lot on Teela and the other side characters in this universe where He-Man and Skeletor have not been around for a while. And that's an interesting conceit.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
It kicks time forward. It lets these characters like find themselves in different places. Some of the people who were bad before now aren't so bad anymore. Some of the good guys are just kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. Teela is upset because she's the only one that didn't know He-Man was Prince Adam. And she feels like she's been lied to her whole life, which, fair enough.
Fair enough. That makes sense. No, it actually sounds really good.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to watching
really
it.
put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
Like, more than this franchise deserves.
Yeah, how's the animation, by the way?
Looks like Castlevania,
Oh, really?
so it's good.
Okay, it's
I mean,
good then.
it's the same studio.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it very much is the same kind of look to it.
Okay.
But less gross graphic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not violent. It's still a kid show. Just one with a really well thought out plot. I'm really impressed with what Kevin Smith has done with this stuff.
That's awesome.
Is King Randor and stuff still in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But people are mad there's not enough He-Man, and like he's still in every episode in one way or another. There's a flashback or somebody remembering something. Like, that is a flashback. There's always a flashback or something to put a little He-Man into the He-Man show. So it's
Yeah.
not like he's completely gone.
And it's not like this show is done after these 5 episodes. There's a whole second half of this season that is
Yeah.
going to be coming out.
I mean,
And
they are truly doing like a Castlevania thing.
I have a feeling the last half is going to be chock full of He-Man and Skeletor.
yeah, it's going to be chock-a-block He-Man all the way down.
It makes sense because with He-Man and Skeletor there's no stakes.
Yeah.
This is the same story they told 103 times before. Like, it makes sense to get them out of the way a little bit so you can tell some other stories and do interesting things with the characters. It's so dumb to write it off for that reason when it's a long form story and sometimes the toys have to go in a different way than you're used to.
It's like people complaining that you're not playing with their toys right.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, listen, we got to take a break and play a couple ads for some of the other fine shows on WZMO. But when we come back, we're going to talk about some news.
This is Gail Martin.
Hi, this is Carol Kelly. We'd like to invite you to join us for our gardening and outdoors show here on WZMO. We talk about observations and insights about what's happening from week to week with plants and animals in the woods and fields around us, as well as what's going on in the garden.
In the Green Outdoors airs Saturdays and Mondays at about 9:30 a.m. right after the second cup. We hope you'll join us.
Hello, I'm Greg Dunham, the host of Long Play here on WZMO. I just wanted to take a minute to assure our many fans and listeners that my staff and I take our job seriously here at WZMO. We will always strive to bring only the highest quality audio entertainment to you and yours. Who am I kidding? We just grab whatever album's on top of the stack. Join us every Friday at 11 p.m. and Saturday at 3 p.m. for Long Play. Tune in to see what we've come up with this week. Catch us every weekend right here on WZMO.
Hey, we're back. That was a couple of ads, not music. This
No.
might be the last time we'll mention the thing with the music.
Yeah, we got to stop doing
we got to
that.
stop talking about the
But that
lack
means
of music.
we have to come up with a way to come back from the break, which I don't know.
We'll figure something out. It's okay. Anyway, we're back to the show. We're going to talk about some news.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal.
It's the closest thing to He-Man I have. Because He-Man is a genetic freak.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a 133 and 2/3% chance of beating Skeletor at Sacrifice.
At Sacrifice. Snake Mountain Sacrifice.
Yeah. And you add Kurt Angle into the mix? I don't think so.
That just makes me think of that video I've seen floating around the internet recently of like 1990 WCW and RoboCop makes a cameo.
Oh, RoboCop is that? Yep, that's right.
And like rips the door off a cage.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Do you think Skeletor wants Castle Grayskull just because it fits his branding better than Snake Mountain?
I think so. I think
yeah.
so.
Looking at Castle Grayskull, it doesn't look like a hero complex.
No.
Definitely not.
Like you look at like the Cat's Lair and Thundercats. Oh yeah, that's where the heroes live.
Sure.
Skull Mountain looks like somewhere some fantasy villain would
Yeah.
live.
Or like the action figures, the storage compound that the G.I. Joes live in.
Uh-huh. The USS Flag, though.
Oh man, that thing is huge.
Yeah. Have you ever seen one in person?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The toy place in Mansfield.
Yes,
the
I was
Toy Hunter
just going to
has
say
one.
they have a complete
Like-
USS Flag.
Like it had
Not
to,
allowed to touch it,
It had to fit the stupid giant G.I. Joe jet on it.
and it did. I think it's massive. It's like what, 12 feet long or something like that? Or
It's-
6 feet something?
How much did it cost back in the day? It had to have been obscene.
It had to have been just a absolute bundle.
I mean, I thought it was funny that was it the Goldbergs actually had one on as a prop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've also got a Fireball Island back on there. They have a stack of board games. There's a Fireball Island
man.
in there. Every time I see it, I'm like, I want to.
Old toys.
Yeah, anyway,
It's
news.
great. Anyway, let's talk about some news. The first thing we want to talk about, do we want to talk about the Ghostbusters trailer?
Sure, speaking of old toys,
Yeah, right. So they released another trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is coming out soon. It looks like you have a price for the USS
Well,
Flag.
I don't have a price, but I have a size.
Okay, size.
7 feet 6 inches.
Okay.
That's a big toy.
that is larger than a full-grown man.
That is about 2 feet taller than me.
It was $109 when it came out.
That's
in
cheaper than
1980
I thought.
In
That's actually-
1985.
Okay, in 1985 money though, that's
Oh,
like, close to $350,
Yeah.
I think, at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah. Anyway, Ghostbusters Afterlife, new trailer, a lot of the same scenes from the previous trailers. But they've added a few things in here
'Cause
there.
This movie has been done for like a year and a half, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. It's not a story. I've said it before. It's not a story that needed to be told. I think the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 kind of say all that needs to be said with Ghostbusters.
In that one game.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
one game. But like
The one game is a nice bonus on top.
Yeah.
Nice cherry on top of the franchise.
but this at least looks like it has an interesting. It looks interesting. It does look a little bit too much like Stranger Things, but that's
I think it's
entirely because of Finn Wolfhard.
I was gonna say mostly because it's very child centric, like as far as the characters are concerned.
And I'm not upset with that. That's fine. I'm cool with.
Yeah.
I do think that I don't know why it's Egon's family, like extended family. When in Ghostbusters 1, they set up that Ray had a farmhouse that they had to put 3 mortgages on to buy the Ghostbuster compound.
It's true.
It was right there.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's been bothering me more than anything.
Do you think maybe they did that because Harold Ramis is the only one that's gone? Like gone?
I mean, I think they did that because it's plausible that when the Ghostbusters when ghosts stop being a problem and the Ghostbusters
Somehow.
break up, Egon, out of all of them, would be the one to continue doing ghost research, where Ray had his occult bookstore and Peter Venkman was like...
He becomes a talk
He was a talk show host, and I mean, he'd go back to being a talk show host, and like,
I mean, and they all had... Other than
and Winston would go back to being a plumber or something.
Yeah, other than
go do a job somewhere. Yeah, it was just a job.
He was just a guy.
Other than Winston,
unfortunately.
Other than Winston, they all had doctorates.
Right. But I think wasn't Winston didn't like extended EU stuff say that Winston had like a master's in like electrical engineering or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he's doesn't have doctorate, but he's like equivalent level.
Yeah, he is.
They just don't mention it in the movies.
Original script Winston wasn't equal to the rest of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it just never comes up in the movie, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, the first third of the first movie is them setting up Ray, Peter, and Egon.
Yeah.
A lot of the early, like the video games, the early 80s video games don't even have Winston in them.
Yeah. Well, I have a giant, my folks, they have a giant cardboard standee from the original film when it was released on VHS, and Winston is not in it. It's just the 3 of them, like,
but also Winston
zapping their stuff.
Yeah, but Winston also doesn't show up until like the last quarter of the movie.
Yeah, which also didn't need to be that way either.
Well, yeah.
No, you're right.
But product of its time, I guess.
He's a super nice guy, though.
Incredibly nice guy. Met him a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's more than a couple years ago.
They didn't even let him voice his own cartoon, for God's sake.
Well, that's true. No, they who did they get? Arsenio Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because he was the bigger name to get.
Yeah, at the time. I mean, still, I guess. But no, this Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer looks good. Looks good. Annie Potts is there. They tease Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
They got him away from his Crystal Skull vodka factory long enough to say we're closed.
Yeah, they got him away from looking for UFOs in the sky.
Yeah.
That's kind of on brand.
Yeah.
For a Ghostbuster thing, anyway.
But no, it looks fine.
Yeah, I mean it's a direct sequel to the first 2 Ghostbusters movies. I mean, they find the kids find a YouTube clip of the old commercial from the 80s.
And that's cool. That's fine.
I don't understand how ghosts can suddenly become not a problem. How does that work? Did they catch all the ghosts and then nobody dies anymore?
I think by stopping Vigo and clearing out the river of slime underneath New York, that like prevented a lot of ghosts from crossing over back to the real world, I think was the reasoning.
Okay, so these ghosts aren't like
the ghosts exist. No, ghosts exist. They just aren't able to cross back over to our plane of existence because of the lack of mystical goop energy underneath New York.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
just-
something like that.
It's just so weird to be like, no, we solved ghosts.
But the
Yeah.
other thing is weird is like how it all like was very centric to New York.
Yeah. Well, sure.
I mean, and then ghosts got to be everywhere, right?
I know there's so many other places that could take this story.
Guys, this movie wasn't meant to be analyzed
I
this deeply.
I know.
It was a comedy movie from the 80s.
I know.
There's room for really cool stories in that universe, and I think this is
Sure,
not,
and it's called The Extreme Ghostbusters.
yeah, but it's not using the franchise to its full potential to just fart out a Stranger Things knockoff.
Or more like, hey, those kids wore Ghostbusters costumes in that one season.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Paul Rudd explains to children why Ghostbusters is cool for an hour and a half.
You know what? I would watch that.
Because Paul Rudd is that good.
He is. I've actually gone back. I've been watching. I wasn't going to bring it up on the Check 'em Outs because it's not a big deal. Been watching a lot of those Hot Ones interview things with the where they
Eat
have
peppers?
well, it's not peppers.
Or,
It's different
Hot
Hot Wings. And the Paul Rudd interview is maybe the best one of those. I recommend everybody will go in and watch it.
I mean, every time
he's
Paul Rudd was on Conan, it was a treat.
He is incredibly charming, and he is a champion at eating the hot wings. He mixed all of his sauces together to make one super sauce, and it just about killed him live on camera.
The only Hot Ones I've watched was the Margot Robbie one for some reason.
Yeah, there's some of that. Okay, some of the
Shaq one.
I don't like the interviewer. He seems very stilted in his delivery a lot. I don't care for him, but I can't argue that he is a good interviewer, and they do find some interesting questions.
And Margot Robbie was a champ.
She was a
also.
champ as well. Yeah. You know what? Even the Kevin, not Kevin Hart.
Nealon.
Nah, Kevin. Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in at least 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know where that came
Yeah.
from.
Was it the King of Queens? He was Paul Blart.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. The Kevin James one was actually a really good interview as well. I didn't realize how into sports, how sports centric he was. Like he did a lot. Like a lot of his stuff is like he does a lot of charities that support Make-A-Wish and stuff like that, and it's really good stuff.
So is he
Anyway.
he's kind of a guy that everybody makes fun of, but he doesn't deserve it, like Guy Fieri?
Yeah, it's actually that's actually very accurate. And it's anyway. What were we talking about? Ghostbusters.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, how do we get there? I mean, Ghost Peppers, Ghostbusters.
Da-da-da-da-da. Ghost Peppers.
That's what we should do. We should get Ghost Peppers or some kind of Ghost Pepper sauce when we review Ghostbusters Afterlife.
No.
And do a hot pepper review.
What, so Cody can chicken out again?
I had to go to work.
You had to go to
afterwards.
work that day. Then you get a pass. Not this time.
Yeah, this time I'll have to do it because the schedule works out that way.
That's right. That's right. There we go. You've heard it. You've heard it here first. Ghost Pepper review of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yep.
Gonna happen.
Oh no.
Anyway, let's talk about something else for a while.
Let's talk about Scarlett Johansson and what she's been up to.
Well, what she's been up to is suing Disney and
Yes.
Marvel Studios.
She's been heating up the courtroom.
She has apparently, and I unfortunately haven't done my due diligence and haven't dug as deep into this as I probably should have to talk about on the show. But the long and short of it is, she is claiming that Disney, and rightfully so, in my opinion, Disney and Marvel Studios had a breach of contract with her by releasing the Black Widow movie both for video on demand as well as in theaters. Like her revenue from the movie was based off of theatrical.
Yeah, a lot of her back end stuff.
Yeah, it was like theatrical take, but because it was released video on demand, the theatrical take wasn't as large. And she's like, hey, this isn't right.
Yeah, and they didn't even tell her they were going to also put it on.
Yeah. So I think in this particular case, I think she's in the right.
Yeah.
I back Scarlett Johansson on this one.
I think if they're going to change the terms of the agreement, they should have
Alter the
renegotiated it at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Disney and Marvel, they don't have the money, the extra, couple million that it would cost to be like, okay, yeah, here you go. This is the back end from our Disney Plus sales as well.
Yeah,
that's all it would take.
$30 to watch it on Disney Plus, which is it's gonna hurt that the take on Disney Plus probably isn't that great because it's so expensive.
Right. If we weren't certain that she wasn't going to come back in the MCU before, it's definitely not happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Scarlett Johansson is most likely not going to be returning for any Marvel film anytime soon.
Or Disney property.
Or Disney property. Yeah.
Which is becoming more and more less of because Disney owns everything.
Yeah. But, solidarity. I hope she gets what she deserves. I mean, this is probably going to be settled out of court. She's probably going to win, but she might also get unfairly blackballed in the industry for being labeled as difficult or something like that, because when these things kind of happen, you get
that's what happens.
You get that stigma, whether it is deserved or not.
Like Cyborg.
Yes, like was it Ray Fisher? I think is his name from the Justice League movies. Yeah, he was labeled as difficult. Oh, also a minority, along with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
or a minority,
a woman,
woman minority that unfortunately, they get kind of lumped together in this stuff a little bit, I guess, maybe.
So
but
kind of skimming through this thing, basically, she's filing a lawsuit because she accuses Disney of breaching her contract, which guaranteed an exclusive theatrical release.
Yeah.
And Disney replied saying that they accused her of having callous disregard for the COVID-19 pandemic and revealed that her salary was $20 million. And so
that's significantly less than what a lot of the other Avengers made in their films.
And then
let's face it, she got done dirty by the Marvel stuff. Her character was kind of,
and basically she was
there from the beginning.
Yeah, her legal team is firing back at them and saying, they're attacking her character, which is BS, and talking about how she's been a partner with them for like at least 9 years.
Oh, she's been since Iron Man 2. She's
in
there.
Iron Man 1.
No.
Yeah, she is, but not as Black Widow. She is the model holding the repulsor glove.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's not right.
Hold on, let me look.
Because he doesn't announce that he's Iron Man until the end of Iron Man 1, so there would be no reason why she would be a model holding the repulsor in Iron Man
she's
1.
in the beginning of the movie with the Iron Man glove before she's revealed as Tony's new assistant or whatever.
Oh, probably. And that I can believe. But yeah, she's not in Iron Man 1. I mean, if she's in that scene, I mean, it's easy to say that like
she was continuing to...
She was undercover trying to get close to Iron Man and trying to figure out what exactly he was looking for so that she would guarantee to be hired on as a personal assistant so that she could get close and report back to Nick Fury. Yeah.
But there sure was a lot of butt shots in Black Widow, by the way.
There sure were.
It was kind of ridiculous. That's the one thing that Wonder Woman movie definitely has on Black Widow, is that it wasn't shot in the male gaze as much as
That's true.
Black Widow.
That's true.
Both great movies, though.
They're both great movies.
I'm just saying, it is a little weird how often it happened.
All right, so let's see. What else do we have to talk about? So Jodie Whitaker is leaving Doctor Who?
And so is the current showrunner, Chris Chibnall.
Okay.
I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of this of her series of Doctor Who, not for any particular reason other than I
just haven't.
haven't. I'm not a...
I mean, I wasn't caught up till recently. So.
I'm admittedly not the most diehard Doctor Who fan, so like it's if it's on, I'll watch it, but it's not like something I will search out.
I like Doctor Who a lot.
Yeah.
I've thought this series has been just okay. I think Jodie Whitaker has been a fantastic doctor and has done a great job. I think the show running has been meh. It's a lot like Capaldi, where it's like, well, it's not his fault.
Right.
It's not Jodie Whitaker's fault.
Yeah. So with her leaving, what direction do you suppose they're going to take Doctor Who now? Are they going to go back to old white guy?
I don't know.
Are they going to find someone else? Are they where do they go from here?
Well, the one weird thing they're doing is with the last of these episodes, they're all one serialized story instead of being episodic.
Oh, weird.
Or having like a couple episodes, like two-parters or whatever.
I mean, Doctor Who hasn't been episodic since the old Doctor Who, or hasn't been serial since the old Doctor Who. Because before that, they may have had like an overarching theme in the season, but typically they don't really have a continuous arcing story going from one episode to the next like they did in the old show.
Yeah. This upcoming series is all one story, apparently.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Which concerns me a little bit, because if it's not good, we're stuck with it the whole series. Which a lot of the other episodes, like if you get a bad one, it's fine. The next one will be different. Maybe it'll be better next time. You're not stuck with eye booger monsters for 8 episodes.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Matt Smith had like, the Kraken time or whatever there for an arcing one. There was when David Tennant was leaving, the overarching theme was basically saying goodbye to all the characters you built up during the David Tennant time. I mean, it's stuff like that. That and, they were setting up the whole, Torchwood stuff. The spinoff no one talks about.
Yeah. I don't know where they'll go with it. I doubt they'll do another woman.
Probably not for a while, unfortunately. But
maybe they'll bring on a more permanent minority instead of that one-off one they did.
One-off one?
There was one with like the doctor from the future or something, and I think it was a
black lady.
Yeah, it was a black woman.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a couple episodes they really still haven't explained it, where there's a future doctor who is a black lady.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of how John Hurt was.
The War Doctor
was the War of Gallifrey Doctor.
Oh, he was so good.
He was
I know.
So good.
I know.
It's one of the few modern Doctor Who's that I've watched. Like that movie, it was like, was it called like The Three Doctors or something like that? No, The Three Doctors is the first.
It was the
crossover.
50th anniversary special.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite pieces of television ever produced.
Where they bring in David Tennant, Matt Smith, Tom Baker for a cameo.
Baker. Yeah.
John Hurt, obviously.
Rose is there.
Yeah, Rose. And they kind of allude that the War Doctor regenerates into Chris.
They don't allude to it. They flat out state he regenerates into Christopher Eccleston.
But
also you see the eyes of Peter Capaldi, because they're going to do something at Gallifrey or something, and they're like, there's 12 doctors here. No, there's 13, and it just cuts to another TARDIS, and you see
a close-up of
Capaldi's
David.
angry eyes.
His angry Scottish eyes.
His angry Scottish eyes, yes. Okay, so hey, we have a couple of quick hits here. They're ending Dr. Mario, the
mobile puzzle game.
Yeah, which I'll be honest, I haven't played it in probably a year or two.
It's still on my phone. I never took it off.
You were pretty hot on it there for a while.
We all did.
Yeah.
It still stinks that now it's gone forever and no one can play it, and now it's just a memory in our past.
Yeah, that is kind of a bummer that they're shutting down the server so you just can't play it.
Tears in the rain.
Yeah.
Video games are ephemeral now.
The games as a service plus games that can just shut down and never be played again. That is a terrible 1-2 punch.
And there won't be like fan servers for Dr. Mario Mobile.
No. Unfortunately, they're doing the same thing with the Kingdom Hearts mobile games.
Really?
Union Cross, they are shutting it down at the end of the year
that was a
or
pretty
something
good
like
game
that.
Too. It was decent.
And it's the servers are shutting down to the point where they just can't be
also
played.
Part of the canon story also, that's just going to be a hole now.
Well, now you're just going to have to go on YouTube and watch the
clips.
Watch a let's play of a mobile game. See, along with gaming stuff, Pokemon Snap for the Switch is getting its first free DLC. They're getting like another map and
new courses, new Pokemon, which is not something I figured they'd be a one and done.
Yeah. I figured they'd be... Well, I'm glad Pokemon is doing something good with their stuff, unlike Pokemon Unite, which is a giant pay-to-win nightmare that I tried for one match and was like, this is fun, but the only way to win is to spend a lot of money in it, and that's not right.
Yeah,
it is literally one of the most predatory...
I mean, at least with other, MOBA-style games... yeah, you could spend money on other heroes and stuff, but at least the ones you do get to play for free or whatever are
It's
balanced.
not like you're not at a disadvantage because you don't have the cool new guy. Like,
No.
Yeah. I mean, who would you rather play as? A slow bro or any of the starters? And the starters are much better because they evolve twice. And also you get held items that you have to level up that give you like actual in-game bonuses like extra strength and extra power and extra HP. And it costs upwards of $40 per held item to max them out. Or you could play $40 or roughly 120 to 150 hours to have the possibility to get random rolls to upgrade them.
ugh.
That is terrible.
It is literally the most predatory version
Man,
of,
I have seen
of
some
pay to win I've ever seen, and it's on a Pokemon game. So a bunch of kids, you're gonna see reports of kids accessing their parents' credit cards on their Switches by accident and charging hundreds of dollars. There's gonna be, I mark my words, there's gonna be news articles about it. I guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Man, this is worse than when EA tried to make Battlefront 2 like horribly pay to win. And we saw how that one happened. There was a mass protest online.
Remember that cartoony Battlefield game? I think it was like Battlefield Heroes.
Vaguely.
It had a really cool art style. I wonder what happened to that. I'm sure you can't play it anymore.
I'm sure the servers are shut down and you can't play it anymore.
That sounds really familiar.
And that's the other thing with this game. There's no offline mode. It is only online multiplayer for Pokemon Unite. So once Tencent decides to no longer support it, all of those purchases you make,
Don't matter.
gone. Like dust in the wind, dude.
Just like all the doctor tickets that you may have paid for Dr. Mario.
Yeah, right. Just nothing. Nothing. Just throw your money into a pit and light it on fire.
Send a message.
I never got Dr. 3 Goombas standing on top of each other.
That was a very good doctor.
Oh yeah,
I've seen a
I
picture
did
of
play.
that
I did play Battlefield Heroes. I liked that game a lot.
Yeah.
We have time for one more quick one. What do we want to talk about?
Let's talk about these hot new Super Nintendo games you can play on your Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Are they out?
Yes, they're out
They
now.
are out.
Only the best of the best from our friends at Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
Hold on to your seats. The 3 brand new games are Claymates.
Oh, my God.
Jelly Boy.
No, not Jelly Boy.
And Bomboozle.
Oh, I fainted from excitement.
I will vouch for Claymates. It's actually a pretty rad platform game. The other two I've never even heard of them in my entire life.
I played a little bit of the Jelly Boy, and it is hot garbage.
Oh, yeah. I played it for a minute earlier today, too.
It's
bad.
It's bad. It's not a good one.
It's a distinctively British-flavored platform game with all the things that includes.
Yep. So, yeah, Super Nintendo Online continues their grand tradition of putting bad games.
Never heard of games.
This time the theme is goo, apparently.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Where the goo lives.
Yeah, that's why it's all goo.
Nintendo has gone to the bottom of the barrel and then have found a trap door that led to another barrel that they have dug to the bottom of to find these games.
They found a list of the least rented games from a video store.
That's
and
it.
that's where they got these titles.
That's it. Well, next up, we'll be seeing World Heroes, the fighting game.
Brain Lord.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Did you see a new Contra game came out on mobile?
Yeah, I've played it.
Contra Returns or whatever?
It seems all right for a mobile game. Skulljaeger.
I'm trying to think of what Super Nintendo titles it doesn't have that I would want to play.
Earthbound.
Of course you'd go there. That's your white whale.
There's no reason why it's not there.
Yeah.
I know. Maybe they're planning something. Maybe that's why it's not there.
I mean, they have gotten most of the good first party ones that they're gonna have, and they're not gonna. It's not a very attractive deal for anyone else.
It's not.
They don't have Legend of the Seven Stars on there.
Yeah, Mario RPG. Yeah, that's the other one.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's on the SNES Mini, but it's not on.
So is Earthbound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is on there, isn't it?
Yeah. Those are the two big ones, I think, are Mario RPG and Earthbound.
Those are the two big ones. Well, if the theme was goo this time around, and they were able to get Claymates on here, why is Clay Fighter?
Yeah,
I was going to say that too. 'Cause
I don't know.
I legitimately liked Clay Fighter.
Give me Clay Fighter Championship Edition, the one where they the Blockbuster rental exclusive.
I mean,
That goes for like thousands of dollars online because they're incredibly rare.
Claymates was like the test run for Clay Fighter.
Yeah.
Graphically.
Clay Fighters should come back.
Yeah.
There are a lot of video game like fighting franchises that should come back. Like I will say Darkstalkers.
Oh, yeah.
Should be back every day of the week. But like Clay Fighters, now is the time for Clay Fighters.
Clay Fighter with HD photography of
Yes.
the clay, it would look so good.
It would look so good.
That would be faux fun.
In the original game, they don't really come off as clay as much as they should.
Yeah.
And
they kind of look like Donkey Kong Country 1. Like that weird pseudo kind of cell shady looking.
It would work so much better now.
It would. They can bring back characters from Clay Fighter 2 and Clay Fighter 33 and a third, or 63 and a third, the 64 game.
They could put HoboCop.
They could put
in it.
HoboCop back in. Yes. I was just getting to HoboCop.
Why is Killer Instinct not on the Super Nintendo Online?
Because Microsoft owns it.
Microsoft.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. They
I mean, I'm sure they could cut a deal
Probably.
with Microsoft. They would play ball, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be worth it.
No.
No, not when the other Killer Instinct exists out there.
And you can play the original Killer Instinct on Xbox.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
It's on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
Oh, that new Killer Instinct. I mean, it's not new anymore. It's been out for like 10 years, but it's really good. Anyway, we have actually hit time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up for the week. You have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you all for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon at Nerd Overload Now.
You can send us an email at staff@nerdoverload.com. If you want us to talk about a specific subject, let us know. You can also give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline, 586-372-8020. Leave us a message and we might play it on the show. Also, don't use the phone number to sign up for a Robinhood account either, like somebody did apparently.
Really?
I got an email about it the other day. Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's not a good thing to do. You can also find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Come on and jam now. Got a good thing going now.
Space Jam.